All right, guys, welcome to take two of this episode of Brewing with Birch and Bromley, where we won't screw it up this time, which never happened, not even once.
No,
We
no, no.
are we are here, and definitely neither of us are velociraptors this time, and this isn't the movie Jurassic Park. So, without further ado, let's get into the topic we were supposed to talk about the first time. We got this big retro thingy coming up on the 16th. The top 16 Retro Invitational players from the year 2020 have been invited to a soiree where one of them will be crowned the King of Retro or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I guess we're gonna let Bromley go over the format a little bit. We were not gonna spend too much time on it because we did that already, and we don't really need to do that again. As far as I'm concerned, just because you guys didn't get to hear it doesn't mean I want to go over it again.
Well, so it's a top 16 double elimination format, which if you're not familiar with double elimination, it means that there's like a ladder for the top 16 players, and if you lose, you get put into a second ladder, right? And so the winner goes on to the next rung of the ladder up until the finals. But if anybody loses in the first ladder, they go to the second one, and they get a second chance to win. They got to play against another loser. If they win, they get to keep going. And so the next person, if you lose twice, you're out, right? But you have one loss you can get, including all the way up to the quarterfinal. So like some of the really fun stuff that you see in these sort of things are somebody who like loses first round and makes it to the final, or like some like let's say in the semifinal, one guy wins, next goes to the thing, and then you get a rematch in the final.
Yeah.
Those are ones that are really fun to watch. So it's going to be fun for the commentators. It's going to be fun for the people watching. It's going to be fun for the people, playing in it. Hopefully.
Very, very unique, obviously, to this event as well. Jesco Games has never done a double elimination thing before, so this will be a pretty cool thing to like set up some really cool like storylines, maybe some rivalries that last until the test of time or whatever. You know,
Right.
like just some cool storyline stuff. And like a fun, wacky little format, you know.
Yeah, and that's like the other unique thing about it is that they're using a like modified conquest format, where everybody's bringing 3 decks, and your opponent A and B will play against each other. They will ban one of each other's decks. They'll have 2 left, and they'll have to win a match with one of those two decks that are left over. Most other conquest formats that we've seen in other online card games is usually where you see these. Is you'll ban a deck and then you have to win with the other. Win one game with the other decks, so you get a best of 3. So this is modified so that people can use sideboards and all that jazz. But it opens, it makes it for a little bit different of a field, right? You could not play with one of your decks the entire day, right?
In theory, one of your decks could entirely be like the bait deck.
Yeah.
Like you're like, all right, well, I just want them to ban this. I'm gonna play this. And this is just like in case, like you're fucking plan B, I guess, like the emergency button. But yeah, I can see a lot of people who just will not use their third deck.
If Colby Cram or Tim Keefe want to play their character, right, they just bring Terry, and then everybody bans Terry. They get to play Taki.
They get to play Kotal Khan and Taki all day, and like never get to fucking diverge from any of those like at all.
Exactly. So that's pretty cool that you have those sort of options. There's a lot of neat things you can do with deck building. It's like a teams format, so you have up to 8 cards, eight of a card in your decks.
Yeah.
Except for Red Eye Capsule, I suppose. I'm sure you can still have.
Yeah, I don't really know what the Red Eye Capsule rule is. I suppose you can still have 16, but you wouldn't be able to have like 32. You know,
yeah,
I think it'd just be 16.
I think it's 16. Yeah.
I would imagine that's how that works.
Yeah. So anybody who's hoping to bring Asimov of Canarita and Gren, sorry, dude.
Yeah. Maybe ask about that with your local TO, because honestly, I think card text is like breaks the rule for the format anyway. Because you still can't have 8 copies of Spell Circle, just because you're allowed to. You might actually be able to have 16 in all of your decks, because you follow the golden rule, dude. I don't know, but I don't know how many fucking Red Eye Capsule decks you could possibly bring and care.
It's 2. The answer is 2.
2 is still
retro.
Generous.
Retro. You have a third one. You can play Lilith 1-Dot.
Oh, true.
Off of Chaos.
Very true.
You can do that.
Wait, she's... Yeah, Chaos, I guess. Chaos.
So I guess you could bring 3 red eye capsule
Yeah,
decks if you
yes.
follow the text in the card, but I would talk to Tim Friedley.
Yeah, somebody's got to talk to Tim Freely about that one because I've never played a red eye capsule a single time in my decks, so I don't know about your 48 copies you want to play in your team's decks.
Yeah. But yeah. The anybody who's been following retro should know about the bans. But if you're coming along, right, there's been a lot of bans across all of the events. Like the first one ban was Huitzel, right, because he was stacking and it was a little bit much.
Too much.
Yeah. The second event, we didn't ban anything, I think.
I think the second event, nothing got banned, and then the third event, Goro
got
and
banned.
Mourning the Lost?
And
or was Mourning the Lost later?
No, it was Mourning the Lost and Goro. And then the fourth event, we banned Meteor.
Yep.
And the fifth event was the last one, right?
There were 6 events, and maybe 2 of them didn't have bans.
Huh, maybe. Yeah, I think there were 2. Like, the second one came pretty rapid fire after the first one. The fifth one, was there any bans after the fifth one? Maybe not.
I don't think so.
Maybe not. And
that was the one Shiva one. And I don't think anything got banned after
that was the one Shiva one, and nothing got banned, even though Superior Technique and or Diamond Crusher should have been banned. Diamond Crusher is still a little bit much. But and then after the 6th one, which was the last one, we have some bans coming into the top 16, which are Kevin Broberg 2, Justin Retro. I think
Justin Retro.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to end up errataing him for standard, but just for this event, they didn't want to roll one out 2 days before the event.
Hoping he gets an errata in standard.
Yeah.
We want to see the champ cards get to play their champ cards.
Yeah, I think
they never do, but
yeah. I mean, Kevin did play it. He got top cut with this character and got knocked out by the Akuma in the last retro event. But I think it'll end up just getting an errata for standard. I'm hoping. And I think that the explanation for it getting an errata for standard and not for retro is that it's just there's not enough time to like modify it for the event, right?
Yeah, so there wouldn't have been enough time to test out an errata and then also allow people an adequate amount of time to test that in their decks, probably.
Right.
Because it happened last week.
Yeah.
And we're going in like 2 days from now is the event. So
yeah.
I know they've banned on much shorter notice and errata on much shorter notice.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at you, Quan Chi. But I think this is probably the best way to handle it, especially in a format where your ban list isn't actually the same as standard anyway. So
right.
It makes sense.
It's an experimental format from the rules to the way that you get to look at deck lists and everything. So you may as well just experiment further. I mean, that's a character that's going to be out there. The other one that was people are kind of predicting is going to be on
Terry.
It's not Terry. Terry's not banned. Instead, they banned Big Cyclone because of its interaction with Graven Castle Ruins. And that one gave me a little bit of gave me some pause.
I think it's dumb.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It wasn't. Well, I would have. I mean, like my biggest question to like anybody who was like Big Cyclone is annoying because it is an annoying card. It's a very powerful static
really good
kind of card, and it's got a great response for discard decks. And its interaction with Graven is really fucked up. But the caveat here is that there's been a lot of Dimitri decks. And very few of them were running Big Cyclone. There were some hand cannon ones. There were some reduction dragon cannon meme ones. And also none of them top cutted any of these events. So if Big Cyclone were a problem, it would have been a bigger problem with like if the stuff in the card pool thing was A, at form speed, B, had a less intense cost because Graven has to destroy a foundation, right? And 3 was on a fucking character, right? Because Graven, you have to you have to get out, and you have to have the Big Cyclone in your discard pile. So what I think happened is Sam Tate went and tooted his horn, and he was I want to play 3 Big Cyclone decks. I want to play Senko. I want to play Terry, and I want to play Dimitri. And somebody was like, "Oh God, I don't want to watch that." And they were like, "Get that out!" I feel
like
there.
This is actually just like one of those fucking QAnon conspiracy theories, dude. We're just jumping down the fucking rabbit hole. Like Big Cyclone is the reason the Capitol got stormed. Actually,
that's actually it, dude.
They stormed the Capitol to Terry to not get banned. No, I think that we talked about in Act 1 of this fucking shit show.
Yeah.
It's like the third ring down on like the Terry like what Terry should have had happen to him like list.
Right.
Like ring 1 is like Terry is just too strong. If you think a deck like Kevin Broberg is too strong, you have to think a deck like Terry is too strong. because they run on similar principles of playing very, very, very good defense until they get their win condition, which involves a million assets.
Right.
So, like,
Yeah.
I think if you had to, like, that was, like, my headspace is, okay, get rid of that. And then you have, like, a whole slew of other things that Terry does way better. And then you had, like, Graven, Castle Rune, and Big Cyclone. And it's so strange to me.
Like, I wouldn't want to ban Elk Shield or Owl Shield just because other characters, like, aren't abusing that, right?
I would ban Owl Shield.
Yeah, we know that. Okay.
Because that card's fucked up.
We've heard you say this.
Elk Shield is a necessary card. That's the throw one. That was good.
And that's, like, nobody's complaining about Terry with Owl Shield. They're not even running Owl Shield. They're running Elk Shield.
No one's running Owl Shield.
And you have to hit him 29 times to kill him, right?
Yeah, that's the fucked up part.
If you're attacking him off zone, you have to hit him actually 29 times. Otherwise, he just blocks you with the Cormorant. Good luck to you, Mr. Reptile.
And then you just can't play cards anymore.
Yeah. But the other end of this is that, you know, Big Cyclone is like, it makes it so that he doesn't even have to block, right? That's the idea, right? Like, at least this way, now he has to find the pieces and block. But in my head, it's just like, okay, now you're forced into a situation where you have to, have tons of big speed and hate for his onboard resets, because he has Poster Girl, he has Champion of Muay Thai, and he's on Earth, guys. He has Know the Power of the Abyss. If you want to go even deeper, he has Gimme Your Best Shot. He's got access to so many zero speed.
Yeah, I mean, he could Dark Side of Karma to return it to brain speed.
Dark Side of Karma's in there, and all of the others. Like, I mean, you know, Guardian of the Spirit Sword is a real ass card.
Earth has no shortage of speed reduction. Also, Guardian of the Spirit Sword is nuts in him anyway.
Yeah,
unless you pick up Elk Shield.
Something an asset, dude. So you have to eat through that. Which is tough, dude. It's not easy.
Sure.
Oh my gosh, I'm brain farting. But you have to have big speed. Hey, you have to have big speed, or some way to clog his pool, or like make him fail his checks like the Akuma did.
Sure.
Or you just like blitz him early enough, right? Or maybe have asset hate in general. You know, I'm sure that there's ways to kill the character, right? It's not unbeatable, but neither was Kevin Broberg, right? Kevin Broberg won the standard event, and he didn't just 2-0 the entire format. He lost some games. Right. He lost to a Wen in singles and another deck, I think, in singles before Top Cuts. And same thing with Kevin Broberg, got blown out turn 2 by Akuma 2 out of 3 games in Tom Cuts.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
And that character got banned, right? So it is a little bit distressing. If you're banning one character because you don't want it to be on every single team, I just would have gone with the Terry thing. You know, I would have banned, if it were up to me, I would have banned Superior Technique. I would have banned Terry and Kevin Broberg, and then the format would have been really open. People could still play Raptor, but they wouldn't have the high roll with Superior Technique.
Yeah.
You know, without Terry, you can still play Earth decks, but they're not fucking Terry. And
yeah, true.
And without Kevin Broberg, you can play Wen, I guess.
More people should play Wen. That could just. No, it's just, Jose should not be the only Wen player on the entire world.
Just gonna be Jose, because you have to have 2 things going for you. You have to play pretty clean defense, which not a lot of people have that skill. And the other thing is defensive players aren't good at sacking, and that's the other thing you need. You need to sack. So it's like I call 2 players that can play Wen in this entire world, and it's Jose and Mark Tyner. Because those are the 2 guys that can play that character, I think, and play it really, really well. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. Most of the players at time of recording, I think the deadline has gone off, so all the deck lists should be submitted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And it's going to be exciting to see people ban Terry and play other decks for the rest of the day.
It is pretty exciting. And we talked about this once again in our first recording of this, where we think that, like, every team is pretty much going to have a Terry. Like, it's going to be very Terry heavy, Terry-centric. What's up?
Mine won't.
Yeah, I know yours fucking won't. Because you don't want... I don't know why. You could just have a free ban and you can play whatever deck you wanted the whole time, but you chose not to.
It's boring.
It is fucking boring. It is boring, but you would never have to play it. Its job is just to get banned.
Okay, fair, man.
But yeah, like, we're a lot of Terry, probably a lot of Lord Raptor, is what you're expecting, and then like we were pretty up in the air on, like, the third character, there are a lot of very good characters still around in the format. Like Shiva's still around.
Yeah. There's two very easy ones, and then there's tons of the field is wide open after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can high roll with your Lord Raptors. Lord Raptor is still not my pick of the most like oppressive cards, but like you can certainly get shit on by him. So I can understand like some decks just can't play into Lord Raptor.
Right.
Like, and a lot of the decks people like playing can't play into Lord Raptor. So like he's a big boogeyman, and then we still have to deal with watching Terry block 500 times, and people figure that out. Like people, and I know like obviously people can't watch this and then pick like strategies out of it, but like I would not be surprised to see people bring like their 2 Terry beaters and then start banning other people's stuff, like their other decks.
That's true. I can actually talk about the decks that I'm going to bring, because
true.
Nobody's going to scout me, right?
So, you can't get scouted anymore.
You can peek into the mind of Chris Bromley. I had like 11 decks lined up.
Oh God, you built so many decks.
I built so many decks. You should see my invitational folder. But in my head, it's like you need to be able to beat either Terry or Lord Raptor, right? You have to be equipped to deal with one of those two things. And I think the easier one to prepare for is Terry, because he's not high rolling you, right? He's got a very predictable thing. So if somebody has Terry and Lord Raptor and something else, I'll ban Lord Raptor and I'll play to beat Terry. Terry cannot beat you if you play Gyro Chain Gash. He cannot beat you. He's entirely a multiple character. So if you just
love Gyro Chain Gash.
If you play 2 decks that have 4x Chain Gyro Gash in it, then you will not lose to Terry. It's just not happening.
We love that card.
So play your Chain Gyro. I'm playing 2 Chained Gyro Gash characters. And I'm playing Yoshimitsu, because the other things that I'm afraid of in the format are things that can, blitz me. So if I see like Osai Tyson, who's running 3 turn 1 decks, and he looks at my list of Cassandra, Tim Keefe, and Yoshimitsu, and he says, well, I don't want to deal with Yoshimitsu because Osai hates my Yoshimitsu, then he'll ban Yoshimitsu, and I've got 2 very good characters going second or first.
Sure.
Both Tim and Cassandra are good at blocking early turns, right? Because they don't care so much about I mean, Cassandra, she gets her pieces. She needs to see her owl shield, but if she does, she's very hard to kill. And both the decks are attacking pretty well. They have pretty much the same attack lineup. Cassandra, I have sideboarding into Lilith, because I think that she has a bit of a harder time playing into something like a Nightmare or a something that's just checking a lot of big attacks.
Just big attacks.
Yeah, just big attacks. So, I can sideboard into Lilith in that deck because the 2 attack lineups build it. Also, I like the idea of Trinity Geyser in Lilith, and I'm surprised nobody's ever done that before. Like Trinity...
I guess I don't know the rule here. Could you have had Lilith in both those side decks?
No, you can only have one character. So
you could only have that one character, even if it's side decked, show up one time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I can actually ask
I was
Tim,
like, that's pretty interesting. Like you could have...
I'm gonna live ask Tim.
That'd be pretty interesting.
Have Lilith in both of my sideboards, because
like I actually don't even know, like in a teams aspect, the way it I don't know how it works even in a teams aspect. Like realistically, I don't think you can have like I don't think you can have a no.
Yeah, he says no. So
okay, that's what I was like. I'm not entirely sure on that one.
Well, you can have 4 copies of a character because you have to stack sometimes, but I think you can't have a copy of a character in another. You can't sandbag into a character your buddy's sandbagging into, right?
Yeah, you can't be like, all right, we're both playing Earth decks, and I'm playing fucking Sophitia, but I side into Cassandra or something.
Yeah, people are gonna think I'm lame because I'm running basically the same attack lineup, but I actually started this deck as a Cassandra deck. And I had a lot of but I was having problems like killing people early enough, and then I tried it with Tim on top, and I was killing people like turn 2 every single game. So
I think the way you approach it is much better anyway. I think that like your 2 decks that you don't think are gonna get banned should just be the same deck anyway.
Yeah,
it shores up your numbers. Like and your opponent can't ban you out. You always get to play what you want.
I'm not telling you what my Yoshimitsu deck does because I don't think people are going to figure it out quickly enough, and it's going to be really funny if I get to play it.
Jesus Christ. All right. Anyway, we're not. I don't have enough time in the world for the amount of Chris Bromley memes that come out of Yoshimitsu decks. So,
but
I don't have enough fucking time in the
so
world.
that's,
I don't even. I can't even test with Chris Bromley anymore, guys. It's a fucking crapshoot.
Well, that's my plan. That's my plan. Is you prepare for one of those two decks, and then you just have like good matchups into the rest of the format. You know, that's me things that you're gonna be really scared of. Like I'm scared of Sebastian. That deck is spooky. I'm scared of Shiva. Shiva's fucking nuts. Like I was heavily considering Scorpion or another evil deck that could just 4x Flame Aura, but both Cassandra and Tim and Yoshi are good at blocking Diamond Crusher, right? Yoshi because he can +2 to his check and he can tank one. Tim Keefe, he gets +2 to his check with the 3 things in his card pool, and Cassandra just, you know, if she has Owl Shield out, she never dies to anything that Shiva puts out. So I'm big time, I think, mentally prepared to this event, although I haven't been able to put a lot of time actually testing it. I've been doing a lot of play testing for the My Hero format, which is what I think everybody should be doing. But I'm excited to play. I think that people are going to be doing really, really cool things, and I hope you all watch. It's going to be on Tamron Cardwell's Twitch channel.
Yeah. It'll be Tam and I again on twitch.tv/Tam Cardwell.
Yeah. And,
it's gonna be sick.
And you know what you get when you combine Phil Birch and Tamron Cardwell is you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's right down there. Hit the red button.
You have to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You know, sign up, get up the Patreon. Go buy yourselves a fucking t-shirt, boys. Let's really chill right now. Let's chill. Go to hard Twitch. Unfun stuff. Subscribe. No, but seriously, back I guess to bring it back to the thing. Well, if because people are gonna look at Terry and go, okay, well, why didn't it get banned? So I think there could be here are my vast number of Terry beaters or something. So you could see more Akumas than you think you would be normally used to seeing.
Sure. Just
because people might look at the matchup and go, oh, he actually had game into the Terry as opposed to some of the other decks where it's just all right, I don't know, can I just play my fun meme decks? What if I run into Terry, blah blah blah, I think it opens up the format a little bit with the ban system, but I think it actually is, in my opinion, it's more fun because I think it closes off, for at least good players, is going to make more options. You're going to see a lot of people teched for things. And I think that's really cool. I like watching people specifically prepare for other stuff.
Yeah, the one wrench in the game plan for preparing for specific things is that your opponent is going to be able to look at all 3 of your lists, right?
Sure.
And I don't know how long they get to see it for. But if you're playing Takeda and you were I put 4x Profane Sanctuary on 2 of my 3 decks, the Takeda players are going to be yeah, I'm not playing Takeda into this team, you know.
Sure.
So it's harder to trap somebody, but you can be prepared for it, right? I wouldn't expect to come into this and see a lot of oh fuck, but if somebody like me who was afraid of Superior Technique in Raptor and some other decks, I just shoved a lot of draw hate in my stuff. I'm running 8x copies of Venomous between 2 of my decks. I've got 2 or 1 of each of the For Mother Russias and the Trained by the Streets. We just don't like people drawing cards. So
yeah, there's a lot of free drawing.
We're
Retro.
shoving those ones in there. So yeah, that's the way that I approached it, and I think that's the best way to approach it, is that you want to have not gotcha moments, but be prepared for the things that you're afraid of.
Sure. I think that yeah, like you said, you're not trying to surprise people, right? You're not gonna bring in your meme that you thought of this super powerful combo, and it's you're not gonna people are gonna be able to see the combo before it plays out in front of them, right? They're gonna be able to at least visualize it on a piece of paper. Whether or not people are aware of what you're doing is another story, but I actually am a big fan of that idea of being able to see in the top cuts who you're playing against deck list. I think it's pretty neat. I think that is a really cool way of doing it, and I would like to see them adapt that in future tournaments as well.
Agreed.
I know it's just been specifically a retro thing, but I think it's really neat to be able to be okay, well, I get 5 minutes before to look at my opponent's deck list, and I can kind of like take some notes, like because you're allowed note taking. I mean, I know not a lot of people take advantage of it, but you're allowed note taking, and
Mm-hmm.
like I think it's really cool to be able to do that.
Right.
I think that's super sick.
Yep.
It's one of the two good things that I've seen out of Retro. Like I love the 10 card side deck, and I love that deck list thing.
Yeah.
I'd also would love to see a Goro ban in Standard, but we can only hope on that one. We can only hope.
Only hope. It's gonna
We can
take.
only hope.
It's gonna take some Goro players shoving Hellfires and burst times into people's dick holes.
Yeah, it's gonna take
on
a
stream.
lot of obscene fucking Goro player, but
Yeah. On stream.
I don't want to pay enough attention to the Goro play for that. Like I fucking just do not give a shit about Goro.
Right.
But
right.
yeah, like it's pretty cool, and we've got a lot of pretty cool, and it's like a lot of unique players in the event too, right? Like there's not a lot of everybody that does the same kind of thing. It's not even like, honestly, not like a super list of the like that you'd expect to see, right? Because in standard lists, in standard events, you get like almost like this tape feeling to things where you're like, all right, well, this is what it's supposed to be. Right. These are the people we're supposed to see, right? But this is cool. Like you got Jose, who is, for all intents and purposes, basically a rookie, right? Like he played his first event, or his first like major was Worlds last year, and then like he shit on people in Retro for like an entire year.
Yep.
And like he's the #1 seed, like you got like your biggest name in the event is Tim Keefe, like, and everything around that is people who I'm not gonna say are like bad or anything like that, but it's not your typical run of the mill like you'd see in Standard, where like I'm playing, and like you get Dave Wagner in there, and you got like Shane Duckworth and Mark Tyner, Jacob Johnson. Right. Like it's not the usual suspect. So it's gonna be super cool to see all these people play out in like a top cut setting, of like, especially one that is such a unique top cut setting, right? Like these people are gonna not only get their spotlight, right, but they're also gonna get like another shot at it. Like it will be cool to see like if people play like each other twice, and you see adjustments between the two games, right? Like, okay, I banned Terry the first time, and then he beat me with this crazy deck. So what if I ban this crazy deck the next time, and I think I can prepare for this Terry,
Right. Like, that's the storyline that I really want to see, is like somebody who like gets to get the rematch, right?
Yeah, I would love to see a rematch.
And I think it'll be fun to see just in general.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. But yeah,
I love it.
That's the retro format, guys. I think it's going to be really cool. I hope you guys will tune in again to twitch.tv/TamCardwell, TAM Cardwell.
He's got it in his name. He cards well, guys.
He cards well.
He cards the best.
It should be commentate well, because that's what he does now.
Yeah, Tam commentate well because he doesn't play.
Tam commentate well.
Tam playtest well.
Exactly. And speaking of playtest,
yeah. Speaking of them,
I would like to go through it a little bit. There's been some like changes that got pulled through. People, I hope, are like looking at the fact that Jasko said, hey, here's these 16 9 card support characters who I want you to focus on. And if you think about it just a little bit, it looks like this is the My Hero set with the 16 characters who are all supposed to have 9 card supports and all that stuff. So if you are the kind of person who's like, yeah, I would like this format to not suck and not be donkey dick, and also, be cool, and I could show all my friends who like, All Might and, Aizawa and all these cool My Hero
and
characters.
Big Mac.
Yeah, and Big
and the classic My Hero character, Big Mac.
The best character I've ever heard of from My Hero is just this big hamburger.
Yeah, classic.
He
fucking Big Mac, or movie popcorn theater lady guy. Yeah. Classic players such as
if you have time this week or next week or coming, it's just this stuff is ostensibly going to be hitting print soon. So the more feedback they get, the better. Put together a deck. I'm not telling you to play all the fucking things, dude. Just put together a single deck, play with it a little bit, and put in your feedback, dude, because every little bit is gonna help. I'm hoping that Jesco's gonna put through some changes to make the format really, really healthy and really, really fun. And you guys can help do that. So I mean, that's it. I'm not gonna tell you how to feel about it because I have my own feelings and I put in my feedback. But it's important that you guys do it, that you guys care enough to do it.
I'll tell you how to feel about it. If you want weebs to play this game you like, stop being lazy.
Yeah, do it. Go do the thing.
No, but seriously though, you guys might have your own opinions about standard UFS or whatever. I think it's fucking awesome. I love standard UVS, UFS, UVS, whatever you want to call it. I think the standard format is incredible.
Yes.
I know it's a lot of like big wonky stuff, and I know it's like big attacks and impossible defenses, and I love that about it. But I think for a new format, that's not what you want.
Right.
And I would be worried if I was looking at the cards and saw that that's where the format for a brand new card game essentially was going to be. I would try and dial it back to a more realistic era where people were complaining about Cowboy Bebop cards, but at least you still needed to string people together to kill them.
Yeah, Vengeance of the Fallen Angel took 2.5 years before you could actually just one-shot somebody with it, right?
Yeah, like here's my viewpoint on it. You don't have to look at the set and go, okay, we want it to be Street Fighter, right?
Right.
And for what it's worth, Street Fighter has some very good cards in it.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, the power level of Street Fighter sucks.
Lower, yeah.
Pretty sucky.
Okay.
You can look at this set and go, we want it to be Cowboy Bebop, but we don't want it to be fucking Libra of Souls. Like,
right.
It's very easy to go, we like this format to have really cool, nice, awesome ultra rares, great characters, damage is flowing, there's some good defensive stuff, without it going, man, let's ban half the ultra rares in this set, Libra of Souls.
Yeah, my two caveats here is, like, one, people gotta die, right? And because they gotta die, right? Okay, but I want my opponent to have some interaction in it, right? So if the cards aren't killing people, that is a problem. If the cards are killing people and my opponent didn't get to play the game, like the fridge stuff in my fridge guy, right? Then yeah, that's a problem, right? They should dial him back a little bit, right? But like it's like downward spiral, right? If it had one less of those E's, it was probably fine. So with some playtests, you can go in and be like, hey, this I keep dying to this card that's just Pulse Flare because this character flips his entire staging area in one turn. Okay, put that in the notes. Maybe this card shouldn't be Pulse Flare. Sort of, that's what I'm saying.
People have been dying in UFS since 2006, guys.
Exactly. Yeah.
The degree at which they die has varied wildly.
Right.
I would like to keep it somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Where you can die, but your opponent got to play the game a little bit.
Yeah, dude. What we want is like the turn 2 kill to be like an outlier, right? Like you can die.
I would love a turn 3 format.
Yeah, turn 3 being like that's when we're set up and we're gonna fucking go in, right? And like we also don't want turn 5, which is probably where Street Fighter was.
I like turn 5 also.
Well, no. But like you're waiting to go in and turn.
Oh yeah. I think
none of your attacks don't do anything. Right?
I like turn 5 to be the exception as well. Like I want turn 2 and turn 5 to be like an exception, and 3 and 4 to be where we're jamming.
Yeah,
I want 3 and 4 to be like fucking Cowboy Bebop theme song. We're like 3, 2, 1, let's jam, and then Jose yells. Yeah.
I'm okay with turn 22. Like give me good not blowout deadlock abilities, and let's level up our gameplay and playing deadlock sometimes, but sometimes, not all the time. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
True.
All right, cool. But that's all I'm saying. It's good stuff. People go look at cards, play test them, and tell Jasco what is and what isn't good. Because there's some cool stuff. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Watch some of the fantastic content that's coming out for this playtest as well. I know Tim Keefe has been doing a bit on it.
Mm-hmm.
Tam has been doing a ton of stuff on it. You have dabbled in the playtest content as well on the Unfun Stuff Twitch channel.
Yes, sir.
Just like if you don't want to go and like fill out your own little forms and stuff, like at least be cognizant of what's going out. Cognizant of what's around, and then like give your feedback to the people you're watching.
Yeah.
And then like have them either explain why they like it or dislike it. Like it's not like, listen, if these clowns can't interact with the 20 people they have in their chat at a time, they're never gonna make it.
You mean 7 people, dude? Because that's
the 7. Listen, dude, Tim Keefe's got to have like 20, right? That guy is
he's
That guy's fucking.
he's
He's a
ripping.
handsome boy.
He's a handsome lad. Yeah. Well, the last thing I want to talk about while we're here is just Tim Keefe. Speaking of Tim Keefe, is having an invitational.
Oh, hold
And
on,
by
wait.
invitational, I mean
the TKETTST, the Tim Keefe Experimental TTS Tournament.
yeah, that. Yeah, go play in Tim Keefe's turn 2 player gets to draw 2 cards.
I have to actually ask him about that.
Yeah.
I want to know if turn 2 player gets to draw extra 2 cards, or if they have +2 hand size for the turn.
I'm pretty sure they have +2 hand size because you get them all.
Okay, so characters like Jackie Briggs don't get fucked for going second now.
Correct. Yeah.
Because she wouldn't have to draw up to her hand size, discard down, and then not get to draw any extra cards.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Jackie Briggs wouldn't draw those 2 cards until her turn comes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's what I was like.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's on that turn. They just have +2 hand size. Is probably the way that's going to be working, right?
But yeah. I think it is literally the only difference. Oh no. It is 10 card side decks.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're developing the look at your opponent's deck list rule. I don't know if they kept that or not.
No idea.
But it is 10 card side decks. In turn, the second player gets the extra 2 cards.
Yep.
I'll have to ask him about the side deck thing, or look at their deck thing. I think that is something he should probably incorporate to see how it functions in a standard format.
Right.
Especially because it's also experimental.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a standard format, guys. It's standard. It's fun. It's exciting. Nothing's changed.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys no one's played it in a while, but it is still there and it's fun.
Go play.
You can win a box of. Oh, it's a case, right?
It's a case of My Hero. Player kit.
Oh,
My Hero player kit, which is quite a bit. It's like a case, but you get like a copy of all the URs. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the 6 boxes copy of all the URs, 1 copy of all the URs thing that they've been doing for the past couple sets. Those are
which
sick.
Is cool. I mean, that's an actual thing to play for if you're trying to like if you know people don't like money set or money games, but like that's
it's $20.
$20, get in there, have fun, it'll be great. But
yeah.
But that's
we'll
all.
Talk about that at a later date.
Yeah. Before we close it out, who's your pick for the win?
Oh, that's right. I forgot I didn't make a pick on this episode.
Correct.
I did make a pick on this episode last time we recorded it.
Right.
My pick is not Bromley or Jose in the interest of not shilling for my channel too much. Shilling for the channel too much, right? We got to keep our allegiances, yes, but also we should probably, in the interest of fairness, not only pick unfun stuff, people. I think Tim Keefe. Tim Keefe's
gonna pull through.
He's been around the block a time or two, and he's seen all these cards before, and
sure,
that guy always seems to show up with a huge brain, like when he's there, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he has been very vocal about how he hasn't been testing at all for this thing, and he's been only focused on playtest, which is honorable.
That is honorable.
But I think
he's doing the game a favor.
I think that he's just smart enough and a solid enough player that he can definitely navigate through any format that he's shoved into.
I'm looking forward to the Tim Keefe Chris Bromley finals of the Retro Invitational.
Where I'll get scallywapped because I won't ban Terry.
You gotta ban his Kotal Khan, dude. The Terry's just debate deck.
Oh yeah, I ban. Actually, if I see Tim Keefe and he has Kotal Khan in it, I'm banning that one. 100%. 100%. That's too.
It's
spooky.
the only deck he has practice on.
It's too spooky.
All right, guys. That's gonna wrap it up for us. Yeah, thanks for tuning in once again. All those things we shilled for, please do them. Subscribe to the YouTube. Look up our Patreon if you want to help us at all. T-shirts on Teespring. Yeah, like all that good stuff.
Yeah, really. And, it's just for fun, boys. You know, the Teespring is just because we don't have any UFS merch, and I think that we should have Check 5 Stake Lives on a fucking T-shirt.
Yeah. I mean, the Teespring thing is for literally you guys' like own pleasure.
Yeah.
Like if you have any ideas for a shirt that you specifically want to buy, we could just make one on Teespring.
Put it in the comments, let you buy it. Boys. Put it in the comments. But okay, boys.
Yeah.
Thanks. See you next time.
Yeah. Thanks again. We'll see you guys later.